Welcome to Cosmo Talks. I'm Petra. In this episode, we explore why midlife isn't decline but recalibration, and how you can be a good host to your microorganisms. Because together, you form a fascinating ecosystem, and when the interaction is right, when the crosstalk runs smoothly, you flourish. Somewhere around your 40s, things start to change. What always worked stops working. Your energy is different. Your body responds differently. The rules you knew no longer seem to apply. The standard story is decline. You're getting older, so you're becoming less. Less energy, less resilience, less of everything. But what if that story is wrong? What if midlife isn't deterioration, but a fundamental recalibration of your system, one that calls for new rules, not less attention? In 2023, The Lancet published a landmark series on menopause that challenged the traditional deficiency model. The authors argued that menopause isn't primarily a hormone shortage, but a fundamental metabolic and immunological transition. During this transition, almost everything changes: how you process energy, how your immune system functions, how your brain operates, how your fat tissue behaves, and crucially, how your microbiome is composed. A 2022 study in Cell Reports Medicine showed that the menopausal transition is accompanied by significant shifts in microbiome composition. Certain bacterial strains decline, others increase. The functional capacity of the microbiome changes. This isn't a side effect. This is part of the transition. Your microbiome and your hormones are connected in both directions. Hormones influence which bacteria thrive. Bacteria influence how hormones are metabolized. When hormones shift, the microbiome shifts with them. The concept of the estrobolome, the part of your microbiome involved in estrogen metabolism, illustrates this. Certain gut bacteria produce enzymes that can reactivate or inactivate estrogen. The composition of your estrobolome influences your effective estrogen levels. During the menopausal transition, this estrobolome changes. The question isn't whether it changes, but how you support that change. At Cosmo Group, we often saw women in perimenopause and menopause struggling with the feeling that their body was letting them down. Since 2007, we've guided people through these transitions. What always worked, their nutrition, their movement, their sleep rhythm, no longer worked. They felt betrayed by their own physiology. But when we analyzed their data, we didn't see failure. We saw transition, a system rearranging itself. An entrepreneur in her early 50s illustrates this. For years, successful with a particular nutrition and exercise pattern. Suddenly, weight gain, sleep problems, energy dips. Her first reaction was to try harder, eat less, move more. It made everything worse. Her microbiome showed the transition, shifts in composition that matched the hormonal change. Her system wasn't broken, it was different. We helped her learn the new rules: different nutrition, different timing, different movement, not more, not harder, different. She described it as finally stopping fighting against my body and starting to work with it. The aha moment. Midlife doesn't call for trying harder. It calls for trying differently. The rules have changed. What worked at 30 no longer works at 50. Not because your system is failing, but because your system is in a different mode. This isn't bad news. It's an invitation to learn again, to get to know your body again, to develop new strategies that fit who you are now. The women and men who navigate midlife best aren't the ones who fight hardest against the change. They're the ones who accept the change and learn what works now. The biohack, the reset week. When you notice your old strategies no longer work, stop trying harder. Take a week to observe without forcing. Eat when you're hungry, move when you have energy, sleep when you're tired. Note what works and what doesn't. This isn't weakness, this is intelligence. You're gathering data about your new system. After a week, you have information. Then you can build new strategies based on how your body functions now, not how it functioned before. This was Cosmo Talks. Remember, you're not a machine that can break down. You're not a puzzle made of separate, loose pieces. You're an ecosystem that responds, and that's good news because every moment is a new opportunity to work on your biological age and your health. Want to discover more? Visit cosmogroup.eu. Until next time.